Hello from the GSM workshop. Today, and actually all this week, I'm working on my Mercedes SL600. It's a 1995. If you don't know the Mercedes SL600, it's a V12 engine. It's got a few little issues I'm slowly working through. It's been a great car to drive, and I love it a lot. But it's got some wiring issues, and for some unknown reason, some German technician decided to put biodegradable wiring into the engine bay of this model. Why they did that, who knows? Whoever that designer was, he needs to be shot. Anyway, but the good news on mine is actually most of the wiring has been replaced. All this goes to the injectors, the coolant sensors, and all the other sensors in the engine. But they didn't do it very well because they stopped there, and there's a whole bunch more here. And I don't know if you can see it, but you see where my finger is. It's cracking, right? How far can I come in? You see it's cracking in a lot of places. This is what the biodegradable wiring is. It's awful. So when it cracks, and some of them, oh, this is a bad one here. There you go. You can actually see the insulation through it. Of course, if that touches something else or to a ground, you're going to get a problem. So my job is, and whoever did it, I can't stand these crimp-on connectors. I do solder joints on all my wiring. This is one of the pet peeves. People messing around with electrics on cars. They don't do it properly. So I am putting in new wiring from here, and follow it around all the way to here. And this section of wiring is pretty good. So I have my Milwaukee cordless soldering iron handy. I got solder, I got shrink wrap here somewhere ready to go. And I'm not going to give you all the tedious how to do all this. I'll show you maybe one of them later on, but I'll show you when it's finished. And I got messages coming on my phone, you probably heard. Yeah, I got wiring, replacement wiring, and that's about it. I have done some. I'll just go quickly to the front. I've actually rewired the temperature senders in as well. I got this one off. I did do this one, but I've got to make it longer. It's a little bit on the short side. So I'm going to redo this one. And I put some this stuff around it, which I cannot remember the name of it to save my life right now. Anyway, so that's what I'm going to do. I'll do some rewiring in the engine bay. And I've also taken off the air cleaners because I cleaned out the mass airflow sensors and also the temperature sender which sits in about here. So they've been cleaned on both sides. And also you can see you've got some bit of space down here when you do this. Not a hard job at all. And there's one of the sensor connectors here. So that's what I'm planning on doing this afternoon. I will get back to you when I've made a bit more progress. Okay, so this is how far I've got with the wiring. I'm about, I don't know, halfway through, maybe a bit, about halfway through. This is my new wiring. I just used some masking tape just to keep these wires out of the way. This is still my old wiring. It still looks a bit of a mess, right? So I'm going to do one of these live, show you what I'm doing, and you'll get the general idea. So I have a helping hand, I have my blue wire, bit of masking tape. I've got a little wire stripping tool, which I've had forever. Probably, I had this when I lived in England, which is over 23 years ago. We moved to Canada. So this is excellent for finding wires. Little wire snippers. This is a heat shrink tubing. This is a 1/8 heat shrink tubing. I have solder just tucked down in here, and there's my soldering gun, iron, cordless one. I also have a heat shrink tool as well. So I'll get back to you in a sec. Okay, let's see how this goes. Bit awkward actually putting the video of the phone in. So I'm just going to pick one of these wires. There's no particular order I'm going in. I just do one at a time. The secret of this is just be very patient and do it slowly. I'm going to cut above there, so I've got enough room to strip it off in a sec. And I just gently untangle the wires because it's a lot easier when it's tidy. And I then snip off. Can't quite see. I can turn the camera just gently here, what I'm doing. Here we go. I'm going to snip it off on these horrible joints here. Just going to snip. That's my old wire. Throw that away. And before I strip the end for soldering, I'm going to cut some of my heat shrink tube, about 1 inch long. There it is, just 1 inch longer tubing. Just got to squeeze it to slip it on, and I slip it onto this part before I do anything else. Reason why I do that is the little fine wires don't get caught in the tubing in a sec. My stripping tool, so many blue wires here. Strip off about 6 millimeters. I just caught the spare bit. That's that bit done. And the next piece is my extended wire, which I've got to do. So I'm going to strip this off as well. Again, about the same length. There we are. Bring that over here. So you need clean hands, and I just gently twist the cables together. Back to my solder. Here we are. There's my lead. So what I do first is I tin. Get some smoke going now. I just tin the end of a wire. Okay, just take your time. My battery's failing in my cordless here, so I can do this one before it fails totally on me. And you can't see what I'm doing in the next one, but it's exactly the same thing. Just tin the end, just enough solder, and then this is one way of doing it. This is the way I've always done it. This is the way I was taught when I did my apprenticeship. Is I just lay the 2 wires together and I solder them together. That's not as tight as I would like. Let's do it again. Yeah, that's good enough. It's a nice solder joint. Got another battery for that in a sec. Now my heat shrink. I slide up and over, about halfway down, and I use a heat gun. This is just a cheap heat gun. And I just heat shrink the shrink on here. If that makes sense. Okay, doesn't take long, and that's the first joint. I'm going to put you on pause while I change the battery in here and I reposition the camera to do the next bit. Okay, I am back. I'm sorry, those of you who notice continuity, I am not attaching the same wire because my camera decided to stop recording. Anyway, we're back to where I left off. I got my wire snipped off and I'm about to rejoin the wire onto like the plug end here. So same thing. Actually, let's cut a bit of heat shrink up first. I cut these a little bit longer. There we are. Because I want to cover much of the wire up as I can that goes into this like soft putty stuff in the plug. So I'm going to put this on new end, slide it on way out of the way, snip the end, so about 6 millimeters. I put that in my helping hand. You can't see in here, but I'll just try and bring it into view. It's just kind of there, right? And I'm going to strip the insulation off this upper end here. Okay, this is where having one of these tools is so handy. It has never failed me. Well, I shouldn't say never, but it's really, really good. So now I'm going to tin these ends and we'll attach it. And I have maybe a dozen more to go through. There's a lot of wires in here. Nicely tinned off. Beautiful. Get this into view here, I think. Yep. And I'm just going to tin this one too. Just watch your fingers because things do get hot. And clip it from my helping hand. Right away. So the secret is for this is just really is to take your time. Just do it nice and slowly and methodically. And I just now, because it's all soldered up, I'm just going to melt the 2 solder joints together, just like that. Beautiful joint. Do that. Bring in my heat shrink. It should slide over if I get it right. This one doesn't want to slide over. Let's take some of this solder off. It's a bit on the fat side. Like that. So what's it saying? Here we go. It's slid on there. Heat gun. I'm done. And that is another joint made. So those 2 wires can now go out of the way. I just use a little bit of masking tape just to hold it. This is just temporary measures. So it holds them out of the way. And now I got, how many more I got? 2, 4, 6, I think 9 cables left to do. So I will, when I'm done, I will get back to you and show you the finished product. Okay, I am back. I am done. All wires are now resoldered in. It looks fairly tidy. The old wires are well protected and insulated with a heat shrink, and all the cables are going back in here. So what's left to do now is I'm going to put insulation tape, electrical tape around everything now to tidy it all up and put it back together. And I'll show you when it's all done as well, how it looks. But this looks a lot tidier. You can see my splices where I'd extend the wires. They're very thin. Shouldn't be bulky anymore. I'm quite pleased the way this has gone. Hopefully this will solve some of the electrical problems I'm having with the car. There's other issues I've got to deal with as well, which I'll go through. I'll make some dedicated videos on the Mercedes working on. So anyway, I'll get back to you when I've got it all wrapped up and insulated. So I've put insulation or electrical tape around all the wiring. Plugged it back in. This is very easy. It's just a clip here and it clips up. And in the back here, sorry, just clips and it pulls out. It's got heat resistant wiring. No real tight pinch points. This one is the nearest one. So it just goes loops in around here and down and into the over the engine. So that is now done. Next job I did, I extended the wiring for the plug here because it was previous, I think I showed it was very, very tight in there. So now it's got quite a bit of slack in there, so there's no strain. I also replaced the sender unit. Very easy to do. I haven't done this one yet. See, the plug is off. It's just a 19mm deep socket, unscrews. You can do it with a coolant, and as long as the engine's cold. This hasn't ran for a few days now. So you lose a little bit of coolant, not very much. Just whip in, take that one out. And on the bench here, I have the old one. That's one that came out. And you should have, checking these is fairly easy. Just use a resistance and a multimeter to check resistance across this pin and this pin, and this pin and this pin, so the diagonal ones. I think I got about 2.5 kilo ohms. Here is the new sender unit. I got this from Rock Auto. And you can see the part number there if you want it. That's going to go in soon. And I also have 12 new spark plugs to go in. I'm using NGK. Probably use a scanner in here. So again, from Rock Auto, they're about $1.50 each. Well, here we go. Here's the part number. The BKR5ES. And there's 12 of those, obviously. So I'm going to put those in as well. Okay, that's all for now. When I got it all in, I'll come back with a little bit more. Okay, I have the spark plugs in, and everything else is sorted out in there. I just got a battery on charge. I just wanted to share with you the biodegradable wiring insulation they put on this year Mercedes. I think it's for a few years. I just wonder if you can see this or not. But you can see, actually you can see it better about my hand in a way. Yeah, you see just here, oops, there's where it cracks, there's cracks. And even if you just bend it, look, I don't know if that's showing up okay, you can see it's where it's cracking. What error the engineers are thinking of when they put biodegradable wiring into a car is beyond me. He wants taken out and shooting. So that's one of them. That one's actually not too bad. But this one, see, there's a whole chunk of it missing. Here it is. Put it behind my fingers. Is that any clearer? I've got oily fingers. And it's just so bad. Look at it. Just falling apart. So, if you have one of these Mercedes with biodegradable, oh, look at it. It's just peeling off in there. I feel sorry for you. But you need to change it out. Even if you've got low mileage. Mileage has got nothing to do with how the wiring degrades. It's the age. So mine's a 1995. You can see, oh, I can actually feel it in my hands just breaking. So, oh, there goes my heater. Anyway, that's what biodegradable wiring can look like. I think here, yeah, let's have a look. Yeah, it's bad. So, replace it. It's not that hard. It's got to be patient and to do it one wire at a time and do it, and probably solve a lot of problems with your car. Right now, I got my battery on charge to see how she runs. New plugs are in there. Just 12 of them to do it. Just take your time. One thing I will suggest as a tip is when you're putting your spark plugs in, just do it by hand first. The last thing you want to do is strip the threads on that cylinder because that'll be a very expensive job. I wouldn't like to do it. And I do a lot of car work. Anyway, thanks for watching so far. I think this is it now for this video. I have many more videos planned for the Mercedes and for the Jag as well. So keep watching, like and subscribe if you want to, and look forward to having another video coming out soon. Bye for now.